What advice would you give?
My advice is make up your mind and don't go back and deal with whatever you have to deal with to finish it.
And I want to thank you for making this next one number one.
Tina Turner's life story is one of resilience, perseverance, and triumph over adversity. Born into challenging circumstances and facing abandonment, mistreatment, and personal struggles, she emerged as a true icon of the music industry. Known for her swagger, sensuality, gravelly vocals, and electrifying stage presence, not forgetting her famous legs, the title, Queen of Rock and Roll, was rightfully hers. And this is the reason why we choose to celebrate her, rather than mourn her. Born as Anna Mae Bullock on November 26, 1939, in Brownsville, Tennessee, she was the youngest daughter of Floyd Richard Bullock and Zelma Priscilla. Right even before her birth, problems started streaming in. To begin with, she was not wanted. Her mum, as youthful as she was at the time, didn't want another kid after the birth of her first two kids, Evelyn and Ruby Aline, and had planned to leave her dad before realizing she was pregnant with Bullock. Second, at age 11, her mother Zelma ran off without warning, seeking freedom from her abusive relationship with Floyd, who in turn brought a stepmom under 2 years of Zelma leaving. With all the emotional trauma and abandonment, coupled with mistreatment from their stepmom, her dad sent them to their maternal grandmom. During her teenage years, she had no choice but work as a domestic worker for the famous Henderson family. It is during her time here that she lost her sister Evelyn and two of her close cousins in a car accident. She questioned her God, she questioned her purpose for existence. The hardships in her life made her develop thick skin. The thick skin turned her to a tomboy. To keep off from the never-ending thoughts, she decided to join both the cheerleading squad and the female basketball team at Carver High School in Brownsville, and socialized every chance she got. At age 16, her grandma died, forcing her to relocate to St. Louis to live with her mum. In 1958, she managed to graduate from Sumner High School. Things were starting to look up. Together with her sister Aline, they began to frequent nightclubs in St. Louis and East St. Louis, a move that would decide her fate. One night, at the Manhattan Club in East St. Louis, the Kings of Rhythm Band was performing, and the outstanding performance of Ike Turner, the bandleader, impressed her to the point she almost went into a trance. As daring as she was, she approached him and asked if she could join the band, who in turn told her he would call her a later date. He never called. To get to him was hard, and she had to think outside the box to succeed in this. Together with her sister Aline, they came up with a perfect plan. They started dating other band members of the group. Aline began dating drummer Eugene Washington and Bullock, saxophonist Raymond Hill. The plan worked when one night she took the microphone from Eugene during an intermission. This caught the eye of Ike, and she became a featured vocalist with his band. Fast forward, she became pregnant to Raymond and moved in with him, in a house that he shared with Ike Turner. Hill would leave the band shortly after breaking his ankle, leaving Bullock with a young child. Things happened quickly, and they became an item with Ike. They had a kid together named Ronnie, after which they officially married. Ike had a problem: he did not take no for an answer. He was abusive to her from the start. But Bullock, blinded by love, would let it slide, hoping he would change, something that never came to be. His abusive nature, coupled with promiscuity throughout their marriage, took a toll on her, and in 1968, she attempted to take her own life through an overdose. She survived and came back, but 8 years later, on July 1, 1976, after an altercation on their way to the Dallas Statler Hilton, she decided enough was enough. With only 36 cents and a mobile credit card in her pocket, she fled to the Ramada Inn across the freeway. She would file for a divorce on the 27th of the same month. Despite the depression, she re-emerged with a sexier image in 1978, but it was until in the 1980s that she pulled a comeback of the century with her multi-platinum album Private Dancer. In 1984 contained the hit song, What's Love Got to Do With It? It won the Grammy Award for Record of the Year and became her first and only #1 song on the Billboard Hot 100. Aged 44, she was the oldest female solo artist to top the Hot 100. From then, he experienced wins after wins. During her Break Every Rule World Tour in 1988, she set a then Guinness World Record for the largest paying audience for a solo performer. From being raised in an abusive relationship, to experiencing it firsthand while married, from losing loved ones and being a victim of teenage pregnancy, to being a household name and being recognized internationally, this is nothing but inspirational. The God of a second chance saw all she went through, heard her cries, and lifted her above her enemies. When she attempted to take her own life, God said no. When she lost all hope and turned to Him, God did not disappoint. Being the oldest female solo artist to top the Hot 100, showed that a blessing delayed is not a blessing denied. She may have left, but the impact she left will always be remembered.